Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be taking a closer look at an analogy used by Jehovah's Witnesses to answer the question, why Jehovah allows suffering. Now, I'll be highlighting three main problems that you encounter when using this analogy. There's obviously more than three, but I wanted to restrict this video to just three. Now, before I continue, I would also like to add that if I say anything in the following video that is offensive to you, specifically in terms of belief in God and the Bible, try keep in mind that if I tell you I don't like your favorite food, I'm not saying that as a personal attack against you. Now, with all that out of the way, let's begin the video. Jehovah's Witnesses teach that Satan is the ruler of the world. And the reason for that is because Jehovah has given him rulership over the earth. When studying with Jehovah's Witnesses, they will use this video to explain this doctrine.
Why does God allow suffering? Jehovah God didn't intend for humans to suffer. On the contrary, He gave the first human couple a wonderful start. But Satan, a rebel angel, called God a liar and influenced the first humans to reject God's authority. When Adam and Eve disobeyed God, they chose to follow Satan. They rebelled against Jehovah and decided for themselves what was right and wrong. Was Satan correct? Could humans rule themselves successfully without help from God? Time would be needed to settle the crucial issues raised by the rebels. To illustrate, a rebellious student claims that the teacher's method of instruction is wrong. He insists that he knows a much better way. Some students think that he is right, and they also become rebellious. What should the teacher do? He has the authority to reprimand the rebellious students, but what effect would that choice have on the other students? They may lose respect for the teacher, thinking that he is afraid of being proved wrong. But suppose the teacher allows the student to show the class his method. Then it would be proved to all present who is qualified to teach. Jehovah has done something similar to what the teacher does. When Satan challenged Jehovah, millions of angels were watching. How Jehovah handled the rebellion would greatly affect all those angels, and eventually all intelligent creation. Knowing this, Jehovah allowed Satan to rule this world for a time. Satan's rule has caused untold pain and suffering. However, once Jehovah's right and ability to rule is established beyond any doubt, Jehovah will undo all the damage caused by Satan's rebellion. At that time, only people who choose to follow God's standards will inhabit the earth.
And so with this one single analogy, Jehovah's Witnesses excuse Jehovah God from all human suffering. But when you think about the reasoning, it is flawed. Allowing a student to try solve a math equation his way cannot be compared to watching for centuries as human suffering continue. If you were the teacher, would you be okay to watch while other students in the classroom committed atrocious monstrosities to each other? And if it would be unacceptable for the teacher to do that, why is it acceptable for Jehovah to stand and watch with arms folded while Satan influences mankind to their destruction? And the second problem comes with a bit of irony, because if Jehovah has handed rulership over to Satan, why is it that he decides to intervene in human affairs on so many occasions? For example, Jehovah's Witnesses want you to believe that when a kingdom hall on an island of Yap needed to be extended, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, Jehovah caused a typhoon that then provided the sand they required for the construction work. Now, that same typhoon killed 4 people. And the Bible is full of many examples of Jehovah killing people who won't submit to his rule. So if Jehovah has handed rulership over to Satan, so it's Satan's turn to rule, why is it that Jehovah still insists that people submit to his rule or die? Stepping in when he chooses to affect events on Satan's world. Sticking to the teacher analogy, it would be like the teacher, after he has handed over the classroom to the rebellious student to give him a chance to show why his way of answering the equation is right, the teacher then decides to interrupt, distract the other students from listening, and punishing any one of them who even shows a hint of listening to the rebellious student. And so finally, the third problem I have with this analogy, and ultimately with the whole doctrine of Satan being the ruler of the world, has to do with how Jehovah decides to answer Satan's challenge. So according to Jehovah's Witnesses, Satan's claim in the Garden of Eden was that humans do not need God to tell them what to do. They can decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong. So in an attempt to prove Satan a liar, Jehovah decides to allow Satan to rule humans. But Satan's claim was not that he could do a better job than God, but it was that humans could do a better job without God. So God's solution in proving Satan a liar is to give Satan rulership over the earth. Wouldn't that make things worse? They are now being ruled over by who the Bible calls the wicked one, instead of them just ruling themselves. Why is it that humans need to be ruled by someone? And do Jehovah's Witnesses understand that even in paradise, when Jehovah has without question answered this issue of who should be the sovereign, the question will still be there, won't it? Can humans rule themselves successfully? Because they never got a chance to do so. It's either we're ruling ourselves with Satan's influence, or we're being ruled by God. Why is it that we have to be influenced by someone? Can we have none? And so, with this whole teacher analogy, in an attempt to make Jehovah and his way seem the best way, it actually makes him look worse than Satan the devil. And what modern day teacher sees themselves as unquestionable, so that even before hearing what other students have to hear, they are by default incorrect. And questioning something is seen as rebellious. And so these were just some thoughts I had to share on this topic. If you can think of more ways this analogy is fallacious, I'd like to hear it down below in the comments. And until next time, thank you for watching.